Taylor Morgan, my man.
What's up?
Thank you so much for being on, dude. Appreciate it.
Of course. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Super exciting. It's been a long time since we recorded on your podcast when I was a guest. And so now we're going to do it all over again and talk about what you have going, because I know you're up to a bunch of new stuff. So before I want to talk about Captain's Lifestyle, that's something obviously like a brand and a business that you started. But before we get into that, tell me how you got here, dude. So like for everybody who doesn't know you, obviously there are going to be some people listening who do know you well, but give us kind of your journey and your background. And you can start as far back as you want to go. If you want to get into CrossFit, that's cool too. But I just want to know like how you got to this point, sitting here, having a conversation with me on the Nexus Podcast right now.
All right. So brief little introduction for those of you that don't know me. My name is Taylor Morgan. And after high school, I knew that I didn't want to go to college. So I joined the Marine Corps, served 4 years as a machine gunner in the Marine Corps. During that time, I became a CrossFit coach, coached at CrossFit Dana Point. And I did that all the way up until just this past year, 2019. I was the head coach at the biggest CrossFit gym in Saudi Arabia. Turned down a coaching position in the Cayman Islands because Saudi Arabia paid me more money. My thought process was, I can survive it was a 2-year contract. I can survive for 2 years with shitty conditions, but more pay, because I figured, well, I did 4 years in the Marine Corps. Nothing can be worse than that. But so I went to Saudi Arabia, and I liked it at first. The gym was amazing. The actual facility was amazing. But I came to realize that the higher management didn't really align with where I wanted to take the gym, or how I wanted to run the gym, and how I think that a successful business should be run. And so I then began to realize that, okay, it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you're not happy with what you're doing, or if it's not fulfilling you, then you can never be truly like happy or fulfilled yourself. So around the same time, I also began to realize that CrossFit or fitness, working out, is not everything. Like, it's not even close. Like, working out is like the tippy top peak of health. In order for working out to do any good, you have to be sleeping 8 hours. You have to be eating a healthy diet. You have to be relieving your stress. Like, you have to have good connections with other people. And people were just going into the gym thinking that this 1 hour can offset the other 23 hours of a crappy lifestyle.
Right.
And that's just not how it works. So I began to dive deep into researching all the ways that you can live a healthy lifestyle. You introduced me to Ben Greenfield. That's where a lot of my information comes from. I've listened to almost every single one of his podcasts, reading his book right now. That's just one of the people. And so I created the Captain's Lifestyle and the Captain's Lifestyle program because, like I said, I realized that 1 hour in the gym, like most people think, will not offset the other 23 hours. So what I'm doing now that I quit my job in Saudi Arabia, I realized that I can make much more of an impact, a positive impact that I want to make, doing what I'm doing now, which is the Captain's Lifestyle program. And it's a 90-day lifestyle optimization program specifically designed for entrepreneurs and high achievers who want to basically maximize their efficiency, maximize their profits, maximize their health, longevity. And I figured entrepreneurs were the perfect market to go towards because that's what I am now. Yep. And it's worked for me. So I figured, why not share it with other people? And because entrepreneurs, unfortunately, have this idea in their head that they have to work like ridiculous hours, sacrificing their sleep in exchange for what they think is success. And that's just not how it works. And so that's what I'm doing now, kind of spreading the word on how living a healthy lifestyle, optimizing yourself will in turn improve your business and your profits.
Killer. I love it, man. So dude, like you brought up so many points. We could literally record 5 podcasts on just the different things that you mentioned in there. But I want to circle back to something that you mentioned before is like, and it kind of goes with the entrepreneurs too, is that you talked about, I don't think you use these words, but like passion versus profit, right? And how I don't know, in my opinion, like the more passionate you are about something, actually the more money that you can make, right? Because if there's passion, then you're doing what you care about. And obviously you're trying to make an impact through Captain's lifestyle. And I know you are changing people's lives. And I love the fact that you're talking about balance and like exercise is only a little piece of it, right? So correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like even a year ago, you would not have had that same thought process, or like you were just starting to transform. So what was it that made you realize, like, you get what I'm saying, right? Because I know how dedicated you are to working out, but I feel like I hear you saying where I think CrossFit used to be the world for you, it's actually changed a little bit. So what was the thing that made you really decide, like, this is why I want to go this direction versus being like 100% in the gym all the time?
Yeah. So first off, I think it's a little bit more than a year. I think I first began to realize this probably like 3 years ago.
Okay.
But obviously now I'm diving 100% into all the other lifestyle factors. But yeah, for me, I always thought that I was quote unquote healthy. Being in the Marine Corps, I would drink every weekend, minimal sleep, not just because of the drinking, but the job. Like, we get crap sleep when we go out on field ops. So the sleep, my circadian rhythm was not optimized. I was having sleep issues at the time, for obvious reasons. My diet was okay. I mean, it was better than the standard American diet. I wasn't an idiot. I knew that you shouldn't be eating fast food. Cake is bad for you, all that stuff. But I wasn't so geeked out on like organic and the effects of gluten and gliadin and all this random little stuff that I'm learning now. And what switched me, or what kind of changed my mindset, is, I don't know. Oh, I would actually say that it was when I broke my ankle. So I broke my ankle when I was hammered and just being stupid at a gym party. And it was like a wake up call for me. It was like, okay, my ankle is broken. It was right before we were about to deploy, so I couldn't go on the deployment with my boys. And that kind of hit me. It's like, shit, me drinking and being an idiot caused me to miss my next deployment. And now I have to sit here and like think about my choices. And so I could either, one, wither away playing video games, continuing drinking, just basically doing nothing while I was stuck in the barracks, or I could use that time productively, learn new skills, gain some knowledge, and come out of this broken ankle better than I've ever been. And so it was during that time that I started reading. And all before this, like high school, I despised reading. I don't think I ever finished a book. And so it took me breaking my ankle to realize how much benefit can come from learning. And so I started reading, taking online courses, college courses. And it was during this time that I started to gain more knowledge about how sleep makes an impact, how your diet transfers into the gym, and how form comes first over everything in the gym.
Right.
So most people, especially CrossFitters, this is why CrossFit gets a bad rap, is because people put too much emphasis on the intensity, when in reality, CrossFit itself like says mechanics, consistency, then and only then intensity. So people are forgetting about proper form. That's a great way to cause injury. And you got to do that consistently, time and time again, until you bump up the intensity. So it took me breaking my ankle to finally realize, hey, you got to wake up, do something with your life. Not that being a Marine isn't doing something with your life, but I always wanted more.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I would say that's when I started to realize the effects of everything else.
I love it. I'm drawing a parallel right now that I've never actually thought about before, but it's interesting that you talk about form in the gym and how important it is. Like, you know, I kind of self-taught myself some of the higher level, like Olympic lifts,
Overhead
over like
squat that everybody's
years.
jealous of.
Yeah. Like over years of work. And it's funny that like now you're working with entrepreneurs. I think one of the things that I see in terms, if we want to talk about like technique, I think that most entrepreneurs right now think that like the technique is just to go out and make a bunch of money. But I love what you're doing because it, in so many ways, it parallels is like, yeah, dude, you can make a bunch of money as an entrepreneur, but if you're just doing it for money and you're not, like, I love that you said when you're talking about the captain's lifestyle, like impacting people's lives, making a bigger impact. That's the form and the technique that's going to get you further than just straight up intensity, like hustle and grind, try and profit. And having the, you know, like having the passion there and wanting to make an impact and then letting the profit follow, because it will 100%. So it's interesting. Like I never thought of it this way, but you're like making this connection for me that the form coaching and working with entrepreneurs, because, you know, I do the same just through chiropractic care, is like the form is getting them to realize that, like, look, dude, if you're just about money and you're destroying your relationships, you're destroying your body, you're destroying your health, then like the money doesn't fucking matter in the first place. So that's super cool. I love that. I love that story for some reason, just like put all those pieces together when you talk about technique in the gym and how it applies so much to what happens outside of.
Yeah. I've never actually thought about that, but that's a perfect point. Like it's a perfect correlation.
Yeah, so cool. So with that, dude, tell us, like, give me the details of Captain's Lifestyle. So like, let's say I come in as an entrepreneur, because actually, I mean, I know a little bit about it just because I follow you, but give me more of like the details. So I know you said it's a 90-day program, but tell me like what's included in it. What are like the big, if you had, I'm sure you have a hierarchy of like what you're working with people on, just like we do in our office. So what, like lay the foundation for us for the Captain's Lifestyle.
Yeah. So the first thing that's going to happen after our initial call is, well, first off, you're going to fill out a questionnaire. So I basically learn about you, because the more that I know about you, the more of a relationship we make,
Yep.
the better I'll be able to help you in whatever it is that you're going through. So after that, the first step is vision and mindset. So the first module of the program will be covering the 10 principles of a strong mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't have the right mindset, I mean, if you think you know everything already, you're not going to learn anything.
Right.
So yeah, we cover mindset first, and then we take a deep dive into vision, what you want for yourself, what you want to create, who you want to be seen as, what you want people to remember you for, what do you want people to say at your funeral. So we create what I call a treasure map, which is just a mission statement. Mm-hmm. And we create directions for your compass, which are core values.
Yep.
So doing this, it causes you to live a purpose and value-driven life. I think I heard it in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey. He talks about how a lot of people are busy, right? They're busy, putting out fires, doing all this work, thinking that they're moving towards what they think is success. Come to find out 20 years, 30 years later, when they're retired, that what they thought was success isn't actually success. So they might have all this money, but now their relationships are shattered. They don't have the body they want. They're not healthy, so they can't go out and do the things that they enjoy doing. So in the program, the first thing we do is lay the foundation for what you want in your life and make sure that your ladder is leaning up against the right wall. Because you could be climbing the ladder of success only to find out that it's leaning up against the wrong wall. And so working harder or working more efficient will only get you to the top of the wrong place faster.
Yep.
So first off, we got to begin with the end in mind, which is the mission statement, core values. And we also do that for your business too. So if you are an entrepreneur,
nice.
We make sure that your business is in line with those values as well.
I love it.
Because I don't believe you can run a successful business if you don't have, or if that business doesn't have core values.
Sure.
And if it's not aligned with your specific vision. So I actually had a call the other week with a girl who wanted to join the program, and she was a pharmacist. And so her job was basically to go to all these doctors and tell them to prescribe these specific drugs and all that stuff. And she knew that that wasn't the key to health. She knows that popping a few pills will not cure what you have in most cases. And so I told her, I was like, hey, you will never be truly happy or fulfilled if you keep doing this job. Like you have to find something else. There's just no way. So I believe that your business has to align with your values in order to be truly successful in a great business.
1,000%. That's powerful, dude. So before you go to the next pillars, I'm curious to know, like, this is the place where I struggle working with people because I'm not going to say I struggle, but it's the most frustrating. So like, what do you see where people who try to do it on their own get vision or mindset wrong? Like the biggest misconception or mistake that people make with vision or mindset?
Yeah. You definitely can do it on your own. I personally did it on my own, but I think the problem that comes up is that people don't take it seriously or don't spend enough time on it. So they might know that, hey, like I have to come up with a mission statement, core values, or they might not know that. They might just think, yeah, I know what I want in my life. I want to make a lot of money and just be happy.
Right.
But they don't know like who they are as a person. So if they do know how important it is, they might not take the time necessary, because creating your mission statement and core values is not something that you can do or should do in an afternoon.
For sure.
Like for me, it took me weeks, and I'm still revising it to this day. Like it's not perfect. Your mission statement can change as long as the core principles and values stay the same. So for me right now, like I'm doing the captain's lifestyle. This is how I am fulfilling my mission statement, but the captain's lifestyle might not last forever. So the mode of transportation, for lack of a better word, can change as long as the value, the purpose stays the same. So I will always be helping people in some way, shape, or form. But again, the mode of transportation might be different. And I think how people mess up is, like I said, they don't spend enough time, energy, thought on the thing. They just kind of do it to get it done, as opposed to doing it to actually truly benefit from it. And I tell people in the program, like, hey, this is going to be a lot of work, but the more time, effort, thought you put into it now, the more it's going to pay off in the future.
For sure. Yeah. I worked for, just to put it in perspective. So like, I know you're still working on yours. We've been in practice for just over 2 years. We still work on our mission, vision, values. Values are pretty solid at this point for the office now. But like when I was in chiropractic school working with one of my mentors, he asked me to send him her revisions. I kid you not, for mission, vision, values every week for 6 months. Like I was constantly, and he's like, and he would ask a question and just go back to it and keep revisiting it. So something, but it's cool because now when I tell the story of how he got here and when I talk to people about Nexus, it's like, I love that you're doing it and pushing people to do that, because it's so, I would agree with you 100%. The misconception of like, oh, I'll just like knock this out in an hour is like, if you don't have that at your core, then you're going to be like that pharmacist who like, yeah, dude, you can make a lot of money being a pharmacist, but you're still not going to be super fulfilled. And I think that's one of the reasons, like for my practice, and I'm sure Captain's Lifestyle is the same way for you. It's like, dude, everybody that we work with are the people that I love to work with. There's no one in our office that I don't love. And it's because people self-select, because we have the best core values, the best mission. We put our heart and soul into it, and it shines through in all of it. So yeah.
If you try to market or sell to everyone, you'll speak to no one.
Yep.
Right. So I've turned down people from my program because they don't align with the vision. If you're not 100% committed to changing your lifestyle and improving the world around you, you are not a good fit for this program. And if I was money driven, if all I wanted was money, I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll take you into the program. But then they might not get the benefit from it. And then later on down the road, if they like write a negative review or something, then that impacts me. So you think you're doing quote unquote good by trying to help this person and just taking the money. But if it doesn't align with who you are and what your company is, then it actually hurts you down the line.
For sure. Beautifully said. All right. So we got vision, mindset. That's the first module in the Captain's Lifestyle. What's the next one?
Well, there's actually a couple of things left with the first module.
Okay. Yeah.
So we do define success. So like you said, you can make a shit ton of money doing whatever, being a pharmacist, being whatever, but money might not be your definition of success.
Yep.
It depends on how you use money. You can use it for good, or you can use it to be greedy. And that's when money is not a good thing. This could be a whole nother podcast. So we have you describe or define success. And we also go into, I call it being the captain of your own life, which basically means the version of you that is operating at 100% peak capacity. What does that person look like? What do they do on a day-to-day basis? What actions do they take? And so once we define what your 100% is, we can take steps to achieve that. So that's basically the first module. After that, we go into sleep, because sleep is the most important thing in your life besides oxygen. If you're not sleeping minimum 7 hours a night, nothing else in your life will be optimized. It's just impossible. Super random kind of side note thing. There is a very small percentage of the population that can get by with 6.25 hours of sleep. But I highly doubt that you have that genetic variant. And if somebody thinks they do, they can send me, they can get like tested by 23andMe, send me their report, and I will interpret that. But for the 99% of the population, 7 hours is the bare minimum. And the
just
more,
get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Like, even if you have the genetic variant, get more fucking sleep, because
seriously,
change your life. Seriously.
Yes. And how we track that is I give everybody a Whoop wristband.
Yep.
And so with that, I can measure the quality and the quantity of their sleep. So it's not just important to get 7 to 9 hours. Right. What is the quality of those 7 to 9 hours? How much deep sleep are you getting? How much REM sleep? Are you waking up in the middle of the night? Like all that stuff. And so we take a deep dive into that, talking about how to fix their circadian rhythm, hacks they can do to make their room like a sleep-inducing haven, basically make it like a sleep cave, things that hurt your sleep, things that help your sleep. I also send them a pair of raw optics blue light blocking glasses. We don't have to get into all the effects of blue light, but basically everything you need to know about sleep, we cover in module 2 of the program.
Cool. I love it. I will say on sleep, so I don't know if you knew this or not, I just got a chili pad.
Yes.
Week, and
super jealous.
I don't know how you feel about it, but dude, it's killer. Like, they have it set up, there's no lights on it, so it lights up and then shuts off. So there's no light, like no ambient light that would mess with your sleep. And dude, it took me an adjustment the first 2 nights, but now I'm like, it is magical to sleep on a 55-degree mattress that never warms up.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be investing in one of those in the future, because I am like a bear. Like, my girlfriend tells me that I just radiate heat.
Yep.
And that's something that you definitely don't want, especially when you're trying to go to bed, because you want your core body temperature to drop when you go to sleep.
Yeah.
So a cool little hack for that, if you can't afford the chili pad, is to take a cold shower. But I know a lot of people don't like cold showers.
But you should just do that too. Get 8 hours of sleep and take a cold shower, because it'll change your life. Guarantee it if you commit to it.
Yes. The only thing with the cold shower is, if you're not used to it, I don't recommend taking it before bed, because it will spike your heart rate, like do the opposite of what you want to do. It's not going to relax you. But for me, I'm used to it. It is relaxing. It drops my core body temperature. So if you are that type of person, take it in the morning. Yep. And then it will wake you up more than your cup of morning cortisol, aka coffee. But a cool hack, if you're like me, you radiate body heat, you want to cool down before bed, is at least cool your forehead, because they've done studies, and it's the forehead especially that you want to cool. So get ice pack, a cold towel that you put in the freezer, and lay down with that across your forehead. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
Sleep tips from a pro.
Yeah. And I mentioned earlier that I had sleep problems when I was in the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
now sleep is golden. Once you guys take care of your circadian rhythm and live the way that human beings were meant to live, basically rise and fall with the sun, then your sleep problems fix themselves.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have like the production pyramid, very similar to your modules. And I think we had a conversation about this at some point before, but like chiropractic care is on the bottom, and then it's the foundation of the pyramid. And then the second step up is sleep and meditation, and put those the same. But it's interesting, like we had a bunch of new clients start, and like every time someone new starts, I ask them like, what'd you notice after getting adjusted for the first time? Every time is, dude, I slept so good last night, or slept so good a couple nights ago. And it's like, just start changing the body's rhythm, man. It's magical.
Yep.
So step 1 or module 1, vision mindset. Module 2, sleep. What's the next one?
Yep. Then we go into something that people probably aren't expecting or don't even think about, and that's relationships. So there's a study done out of Harvard. I think you might have talked about this before, but it spanned over 70 years. And what they found was that the single biggest correlating factor to those men that they studied who lived a long, healthy, fulfilling life was not whether or not they smoked, was not their dietary choices, was not how many times they went to the gym. It was the quality of their connections with other people, with friends and family. And people aren't really talking about this. They think it's just diet, or if they're more knowledgeable, sleep. Almost nobody's talking about the relationship side of it, but that's huge, right? That releases stress or reduces stress. If you have quality relationships, you're not bickering all the time. And so we go into that, why relationships are so important for your health and the health of your business. Because if you can't communicate effectively with, I don't know, potential clients or business partners, you're not going to have a successful business. So we go into ways on how you can build and maintain meaningful connections, how to communicate more effectively. So that is module 3.
Love it. And just, you said the word connection, like with other people. So Nexus is the central most important point, or connecting 2 or more things, dude. It's like, it's all so well thought out, and it is relationships, dude, more important than nutrition, more important than exercise, in my opinion. So dude, beautifully said. What's the next module?
Yeah. So if you guys haven't noticed now, it goes kind of like a hierarchy. Like you said, a pyramid. So sleep and relationships are more important than nutrition and going to the gym. So the next module is nutrition, okay? Because a healthy diet is more important than working out. You can't out-train a bad diet. So in this module, we take a deep dive into nutrition, and I don't believe in kind of generic one-size-fits-all meal plans, because nutrition is so highly individualized. What's healthy for me might not be healthy for you, might not be healthy for the next person. So we go into personalized recommendations for you specifically based on your goals, whether that's get rid of body fat, gain muscle, longevity, whatever it may be. Talk about the micronutrients, macronutrients, when to eat, how much to eat. Talk about why organic is so important. We go into like supplements that I would recommend, again, based on your goals. I'll send you a bottle of the highest quality cod liver oil that I've found, Lisi. It's basically a bottle of liquid health. Of course, that's not the only thing you should be doing. It's just one little thing on top of the pyramid. But yeah, nutrition is the next step.
What's the biggest mistake you see people make with nutrition? So like, I mean, from my perspective, like just to share a quick story, like I was doing strict paleo pretty much even before chiropractic school. So I was like, no grains, including oats, no corn, no nothing. And as soon as I added in a little bit of oatmeal to my diet, I like functioned 10 times better in the gym. So I knew that for me, I was like, well, that's stupid. If I function better with it, maybe it's not as bad as I was like being dogmatic about strict paleo. So what's the biggest misconception with nutrition that you see with people?
Yeah, I would say it's exactly that. They might see a headline on the news, or they might see an article that somebody wrote online, and they just take that as like 100%, like this is right. And they discredit everything else. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So like I said, nutrition is so highly individualized. So you don't want to believe something that you hear on the news, right? You don't want to even believe something your friend told you. You don't want to believe something that I tell you. You have to experiment for yourself, do your own research, find out what works best for you. And you might have to do some experimenting. So the only way to know like for sure what's good for you would be to get a bunch of blood tests, which can be expensive, or you can, like I said, experiment yourself. So cut out the commonly or the common what's it called, like disruptors. So things like conventional dairy products, bad oils, things like vegetable oils, canola oil, all that garbage that destroys your brain, sugar, alcohol. So cut out that stuff, see how you feel. If you feel great, which you probably will if you cut out all that stuff, start to add some stuff back in. So like, for example, milk products. Scandinavians are like 95% of them have the lactase enzyme that allows them to digest conventional milk products.
Right.
However, if you grew up somewhere else, so globally, I think it's like 33% of people have the lactase enzyme. So it's very common to not be able to digest milk. Some of it depends on your genetics, where you were raised. So like I said, it's so individualized. So don't just believe this breaking news headline that appears on the news. Another thing is people think that they're eating healthy based on food companies' marketing. So unfortunately, it's allowed for companies to label things as quote unquote healthy, even if they have canola oil and a bunch of added sugar in it. And I don't know why that's allowed, but it's not. Don't believe the packaging, basically. And don't look at the calories. You want to look at the ingredients. The ingredients are so much more important than how many calories are in it.
100%. I love it, man. It's a beautiful thing. And next one.
Yeah. So after nutrition comes exercise. So now we've made it to almost the top of the pyramid. There's one little subsection. So exercise, I go over the 10 principles of healthy training. So basically things like focus on mechanics and form over anything else. Because you're not going to get better if you keep getting hurt all the time. So I write them a personalized training program based on their specific goals. Again, whether that's to drop body fat, gain muscle, just be healthy, live longer. So that's, I don't go too in depth into the exercise part because most people who follow me have a general sense that exercise is good. So instead of going into like the specifics of like knees out on the squat or whatever, although we do cover that because form is important, it's more about like how exercise can not only obviously improve your physical health, but also your business as well. Because contrary to popular belief, working the whole day is not the best way to get work done. You need a break. You will be much more productive if you take an hour out of your day, exercise. You'll feel so much better. So yeah, that's the next module, exercise.
Ben Greenfield would say, like, I mean, I know when I've heard him speak and I've met him a couple of times, is like, he doesn't just go and work out for an hour. Like, he's working and then he sprints to the mailbox and does a bunch of kettlebell swings to like get the mail. And it's all day long, just intermittently doing activity.
Exactly. So
pretty high intensity.
Yeah. So the gym should be like a bonus point. You should be living an active lifestyle to where going to the gym is like an extra little perk, right? So your activity shouldn't be clumped into 1 hour. You should be active throughout the day. So like for me, first thing I do when I wake up is a little yoga flow, some joint rotations, push-ups, get the body moving. And then I'll go on a walk. I'll put my vest on, go out on a morning walk, come back, do 75 Russian kettlebell swings, some more push-ups, some ab stuff, some squats. And this is not my workout. So this is just stuff that I'm doing throughout the day. like when I'm walking down my stairs, there's a little kind of overhang that I can grab. And I'll do pull-ups every time I go down the stairs. So basically I'm moving throughout the entire day. And if it comes towards the end of the day and it's like, oh, I haven't worked out today, it's not the end of the world because I've been active the entire day.
Right. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
So it's so important. Like we just bought a rower. And so you probably haven't even heard this yet. So my goal over the course of the next year is to row 1,000,000 meters, which is 3,800 a day. But it's been such a game changer in my like mentality of just because like it's a grind to row 3,800 meters every day, 7 days a week. But I just break it up. Some days I'm like 2,000 in the morning and then I'll do 1,800 in the afternoon. And I noticed a difference in my energy levels from just doing like the 1 hour of CrossFit in the afternoon when I normally would. It's been such a difference. So it's powerful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I would recommend finding something that you could do every single day. And that way it just becomes a habit. So for me, it's like the yoga, the joint rotations, the 75 kettlebell swings. Like I just do that.
Right.
Like that's what it is. Even on my rest days, because it's not that taxing. It's just a way to get the body moving. Another cool little tip or hack that I use is Pomodoro Breaks. Are you familiar with Pomodoro Breaks?
No.
Okay. This will be game changer. So Pomodoro is like Italian for tomato. I don't know why this is what it is, but it's basically 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of rest. So,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So instead of just sitting down and working for 3 hours, staring at your laptop, thinking that you're being productive, you'll actually be more productive if you work for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, relax, stretch, do some lunges, whatever. Because if you're sitting down, like you're just being not lazy. What's that word?
It's sedentary.
Yeah, sedentary. Thank you. So instead of just sitting down for 3 hours, being sedentary, doing nothing, get up for 5 minutes, move around, get the blood flowing, and then get back to your work and notice the difference in like focus, attention span, productivity. So
for sure,
try that out. There's websites you can do it just called like Tomato Timer or Pomodoro Break.
Yeah.
And it just does it for you.
When I was in chiropractic school, I didn't do 25-5, but I would do 10-5. So I would do 10 minutes of work, or depending on what it was, but like I would take 5-minute breaks regularly. And it was when I was studying. So just like, people would be like, dude, how do you get so much done? But now that you're saying that, I'm remembering, I used to literally set a timer and go off, and game changer in terms of studying. So
it seems counterproductive, taking a break to get more done. People are like, how? Just try it out. It'll work. Trust me.
Yeah, I love it. All right. So 5 was exercise. And then there's the peak of the pyramid.
It's just a kind of little subsection, and that's like biohacking. All these random little tips and tricks. Things such as like optimal room lighting. So instead of like the overhead lights, I have 3 Himalayan salt lamps throughout the room. And not only do those generate negative ions, kind of this similar to grounding, but it's also better than the artificial lights. Kind of creates a nice ambiance to relax you during the night. Things like grounding. So I sleep on a grounding mat. So you're basically connected to the earth while you sleep. It helps a lot with inflammation, promotes better deep sleep. So all the random little things that aren't necessary, but it's always nice to get that extra little 1%.
If there was one biohack that you would suggest everybody has to do that would make the biggest impact, what would it be? So obviously, let me preface that with this. If you don't have vision and mindset, if you don't have all the stuff that we just talked about, Taylor's 5 modules or 6 modules, my production pyramid, which is almost exactly the same, by the way, we talked about this before. So you have to do the other stuff first. Like if you're not doing all the work, the hack that Taylor was about to share with you is like, you might as well not do it. But what would it be if everybody else had all the other stuff in place? What would be the number one biohack that you would say, like, got to do it, game changer?
Oh man, I feel like cold shower is like kind of a cop-out answer.
No, I think that's a good one.
People don't understand how beneficial that will be.
Yeah.
for so many reasons. I wish more people would listen to me when I say, like, seriously, take a cold shower.
Same.
Yes.
I tell so many people that, and I'm like, dude, you do cold showers yet? No, but I'm still having weight issues. I'm still tired in the morning. I'm like, dude, just take the cold shower and life will be different, guaranteed. But it's too painful for most people, I think.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason why you should do it.
I agree.
Right?
1,000%.
Yeah. I mean, cold showers are basically like a coconut oil. They can do everything.
Yeah.
Like, first off, I already mentioned the kind of wake up that it will cause. So if you're the type of person who rolls out of bed, crusty eyes, feeling like you're a zombie until you chug that morning cup of coffee, try taking a cold shower first. And I bet that'll wake you up more than the coffee would.
Yep.
So just so many things with the cold shower. And depending on when you take it in the morning, like I said, it'll wake you up. You'll start your day off with a challenge. So because you don't like it, because you don't want to do it, it's a challenge. And if you start your day off with a challenge, everything else in your day just became a whole lot easier, because nothing is going to be as difficult as your cold shower, right?
Yep.
So suddenly that work project that you have to do doesn't seem so daunting, because you can think to yourself, I took a 2-minute cold shower this morning. I think I can handle sitting down, being comfortable, relaxing, doing some work. So those are just two of the reasons why cold showers are so beneficial.
Of the many, and we could go into physiology and get really nerdy.
That's like a whole nother podcast.
Whole podcast. All right. So I love that, like, that idea of challenges, and we're going to transition a little bit because I want to talk about, like, there's a big challenge facing a lot of people right now. I would argue probably more so, well, I don't know. I don't want to say just entrepreneurs, but like lots of businesses are closed. There's lots of stuff going on. People have extra free time. We're not going out and doing stuff. I mean, I am, because I'm literally living the exact same life as I was before, except for I can't go on date nights to restaurants now, but I'm sure you and Brooke are the exact same. So tell me, like, what do you, in your mind, what do you think that people should be doing with the extra time?
So first off, like you said, your life hasn't changed. My life hasn't changed.
Yeah.
And the people listening, your lives shouldn't really have changed much either. So if you have all this extra time on your hands, you need to create, or like put systems in place to where it doesn't feel like you have all this extra time. For me and you, our lives haven't changed, right? The only place that I would go is the gym and the store. So although the gym is closed, they let us rent equipment. So I'm still getting my home workouts in. It's actually very nice. I do them outside, get the sunshine, I get to ground. And so I actually almost like it more than going to the gym. And the stores are still open, so nothing's really changed for me. But if you are feeling like you're not being productive, like this quote unquote quarantine is holding you back, first off, you should go and listen to your podcast where you talk about eliminating the word quarantine from your language. Because like you said, language plays a huge role in how you see the world. So instead of thinking of this as a quarantine, think of this as an opportunity to grow yourself. So if you do have all this extra time, you can use it one of two ways. Just like when I broke my ankle, you can use it to lounge around and watch Netflix and feeling like you're not doing anything. Or you can do what I did when I broke my ankle. You can learn new skills. I taught myself how to handstand walk when my ankle was broken. You can read. You can take an online course. So it's not the quarantine's fault. It's your fault. If you're feeling like you're not productive, it's not because you got laid off. It's your fault for not viewing it in a positive manner. Right? Because the obstacle is the way, Ryan Holiday. So you can learn from everything. Don't see this as a setback. See it as a potential for growth. So I know you might be listening. Yeah, that's great. Positive mindset, all this stuff. So how you can actually implement this is, I think the first step is sitting down, because you have all this extra time, taking a week, create your mission statement, create your core values. And that way you know who you are. You know the impact you want to make. And I don't think sitting around watching Netflix is going to help you make that impact. So once you know who you want to be, your day becomes a lot easier, and it becomes a lot harder to not do anything, right?
Yeah,
So
dude.
yeah, go ahead.
I gotta interrupt you for a second because I actually wrote this down to talk to you about it, and it makes it's funny that you brought it up on your own. So you said this word, like, I know who I am. And one of the things that I often, I ask people all the time in my office, I'm like, all right, well, if you weren't doing whatever, then what would you do? Like, what would you want to do if you weren't stuck in the miserable job that you don't like? And not everybody has a miserable job, right? But there are some people who are like, well, my dad's a perfect example of this. My dad's like, well, I just make too good of money and nobody else would hire me. And I'm like, are you passionate about it? No, I hate what I do. And so it's like, well, what would you do if you're passionate, if you found something that you're passionate about? I don't know. And so many people say, I don't know, and then use the excuse of Netflix, whatever, to palliate themselves from focusing on that. But I think one of the things I've heard, and I would love you just to hear your input on this before we move forward, is there are only two people who are allowed to say, I don't know. One are children, two are victims. Have you heard this before?
Yeah.
And so dude, I think that's so true. So I start asking people, I'm like, all right, well, pretend like you did know, then what would your answer be? And so I love that you bring that parallel of sit down, spend a week, not a day, not an afternoon, not an hour, but spend an entire week and figure out who are you? What are you actually passionate about? And what value could you bring to other people? I think that's awesome, dude. It's super
cool. So once you set up your core values, your mission statement, once you know who you are, now it's time to design your life around those values. So what I have my clients do in the Captain's Lifestyle program is once they create, because it's not enough just to have core values and have a mission statement. It's not just a check in the box, right? You have to live it. You have to embody it every single day of your life. And so what I have them do is create daily actionables for each of their core values.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that does is, instead of just doing it to check the box, say, okay, yeah, I have it. No, you have to live it. So those daily actionables, things that you can do every single day to embody those core values, to move you closer towards your vision.
Right.
And one of the best ways to start implementing that, once you have the core values, is create a morning routine that embodies all of your values. And this way, as Tim Ferriss says, if you win the morning, you win the day. So if you're feeling like you're not being productive, I would ask you, well, how'd you start your morning?
Yeah.
If your answer is, well, I just woke up, checked my phone, went on Instagram for a little bit, made coffee, it's like, of course you're not being productive, because you start your day by not being productive. So if the first thing you do is wake up, you hit snooze, go back to bed, hit snooze again, you're not doing the first thing that you have to do in the morning, which is wake up. You're delaying that. So you're already putting that off. So first thing, don't hit snooze, get up. All right. And I'm not going to lay out a whole morning routine, because it's going to be different for each person based on your core values. But I think it should include, obviously, waking up when you're supposed to wake up, not hitting snooze, learning something, moving, hydrating, meditation. I mean, there's so many things we can include. I just recorded a podcast with Wade about this that dropped. Well, it depends on when this comes out, but basically we take a deep dive into morning routines and what you should implement. And I can't highly recommend enough the power of a morning routine.
Yep.
One of my clients told me that it literally changed his life, because he was the type of person, this might be a bit of an exaggeration, but he told me that his alarm clock was his emails. So he would wake up and first thing, check his email, jumping right into work. And that's the worst thing you can do. You got to take that time for yourself, because it's like this weird paradoxical selfishness. If you help other people, you help yourself. So, and then if you help yourself, you're able to help other people.
For sure.
So you can't help anybody else if you yourself are not optimized. So take care of yourself first, then you're able to help other people.
Yeah, dude, I mean, it's so true. I can speak for myself. Is never had like a hardcore morning routine, but now, I mean, just from the selfish aspect of it is like, if I'm rowing 3,800 meters and I'm reading for 20 or 25 minutes and I meditate and I've already been surfing and I'm back home and I'm showered and it's not 8 a.m. yet, then like I pretty much gotten more done than most people are going to do through their entire day. And it makes me feel on fire. So like, and then that only allows me to bring that fire to this podcast and to the clients that I saw this morning. And it's like, I don't know, why would you not want to live every single day like that? I get to bring that to my daughter. I get to bring that to my wife instead of being groggy and grumpy and just wanting donuts and to sit around and watch Netflix in the morning. Not that there's anything wrong. I like to sit around and watch Netflix sometimes, but
sometimes it's okay.
I do my morning routine when I do that, because then it just like puts a fire within me. And I think I love that you said that, is like, really, you do have to be selfish. And for me, the selfish part of it is like, I also have to make a sacrifice. It's like, I got to do that shit, but I have to get up at 4:30 a.m. to do it, So I love it, man. It's so on point. It's great.
Yeah. So that if you have a strong morning routine like that, that way, if the rest of your day is quote unquote ruined or something crazy happens, you already grew, you already benefited from the day because you have that morning routine in place. Yep. So even if nothing else in the day goes right, you're already ahead of the curve.
Boom. Sleep 8 hours, get a freaking morning routine.
Take a cold shower.
And take a cold shower. All right. So we're running slightly out of time because I would love to talk to you for like 5 hours, but I know you probably have people to serve and lives to change as well. So let's do a couple like quick fire fun questions and then anything else you want to end with, and we'll hop off here. So first one, I'm really interested. I don't know why I got so excited to ask you this question, but I want to know, if you could choose one superpower, what would it be?
It always goes between invisibility and flight. I would have to pick flight.
Yeah.
Not only for the fact that you can go anywhere at any time, but I've been skydiving, and that is one of the most fun experiences that I've ever had. Mm-hmm. And I went skydiving because I was scared of it, because obviously it's not normal to be looking outside of a plane and say, okay, here we go. And yeah, so I was scared of it. I bought the tickets and it's like, okay, it's set. I'm going regardless. But as soon as so it's the scariest thing once you come up to the door and you're looking out, it's scary.
Yeah.
But as soon as you go, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's just an amazing feeling. So I'd pick flight.
I love it. It's a good one. All right. So next one, this is going to be hard. You can think about it for a second. It's okay. What's your favorite word?
The first word that popped in my head is no. I think too many people are scared of saying no. And if you start saying no, it'll change your life.
Yep.
And how to begin to be able to say no is by creating your core values, by having the mission statement, and it basically makes the decision for you. So if something comes up and doesn't align with who you are or your vision, say no. You don't have to say yes to everything that comes. That's a very quick way to burn out, because you can't handle everything that's going to come your way, especially for these hard charging entrepreneurs that think by saying yes to everything is going to be a way to get ahead in business. It's actually just the opposite. Focus on what you truly want to be and say no to everything else.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can tell you that one of the things that we do with people in our office is like, I tell people straight up, like, there's no like maybe, it's just yes or no. Like, tell me yes or no. And it doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt my feelings, but it saves everybody a bunch of time. If you live in a land of certainty, of yes or of no, and not of maybes. And I think that's like the same along those same lines as like having a do not do list. Like, these are things that I absolutely will not do versus things to do. Because it will save so much time. That's a good one, dude. I would have never expected the word no to be your word, but that's a good one. So take like so many gems with Taylor. It's just magical. All right. Next question. Something that you believe to be true, but almost no one else agrees with you on.
the coronavirus is not as big of a deal as people think.
Boom. Mic drop, baby. So true. It's our bodies were designed to fight this shit, man. That's period. Done.
Yep.
You got to have more trust in your body than whatever else out there. We haven't evolved as humans to be here and be scared of a virus, in my opinion.
Yep. No, I'm getting a lot of flack for that on social media, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, is it a deadly disease? Yeah, sure. Or a deadly virus, not a disease. Yeah. If you're not living a healthy lifestyle, then it is
100%. And there's a reason why it doesn't affect children and it doesn't affect people like you and me. 100%. Okay. Last question. I think I have an idea of what you're going to say. Top 3 products that you would suggest people buy for productivity. Any 3. Doesn't matter how expensive.
Okay. First off, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Okay.
Well, first off, the Captain's Lifestyle program, because I digest everything that I've learned about productivity and put it into this one course.
Yep.
But if you want to go a different route and learn it all yourself and take years to come up with it, like I had to,
right?
Then yes, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, fantastic book. I'm reading it a second time through right now because it is truly that impactful. So I would say that. Let's see, for productivity.
Or it isn't, I mean, we could even go, like, I could open it up to not just productivity, but top 3 products that you would recommend, like must have.
Okay. Because
is one.
Yeah, because my mind went to sleep, because if you're not sleeping, you're not going to be productive. So absolutely. I was kind of thinking of things that you can do for sleep. Let me preface this by saying you don't need any gadget or hack to buy for sleep. You can get a good night's sleep without any of this stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, products. That's a good one. I would say Raw Optics blue light blocking glasses, because they block out the blue light, which this could be a whole nother podcast, but it jacks up your circadian rhythm, makes it so you can't go to sleep. Your body thinks that it's daytime when it's nighttime. You're being exposed to all these artificial lights. So blue light definitely disrupts your sleep. But if you have something like the Raw Optics glasses, that will dramatically improve your sleep quality if you're the type of person that, quote unquote, has to be on their screens. And I'm going to cheat a little bit for the third one. This isn't a product. It's something completely free, but turn your phone on airplane mode. Don't get the notifications.
Yep.
You'll be amazed how much more productive you'll be able to be if you don't have your phone next to you buzzing every 2 seconds. So for me, I only have like text messages and calls. Everything else, all social media notifications are off. And then when I want to truly be in work mode, my phone just goes in airplane mode and I don't get any distractions and I can do the work. Extra little bonus. I know it's kind of cheating again, but for the fourth one, again, totally free, the Pomodoro Breaks. 25-5. Don't just sit there for 3 hours. Give yourself a 5-minute break.
I love it. I will link all of this stuff in show notes, by the way. So it's beautiful. All right. Tell people where they can find you, connect with you, learn more about you. I know you have a bunch of places.
Yeah. The main place will be Instagram at 6CaptainMorgan9. On there, you can find the link to my website, thecaptainslifestyle.com. I mean, I have a TikTok, a LinkedIn, a Facebook, but primarily Instagram is where you can get a hold of me.
Cool. Love it. And captainslifestyle.com if they want to know more about your program.
About the program. Yep. Or send me a DM on Instagram. I'd be happy to talk to you guys. Just make sure you're committed. Because like I said, I don't accept anybody who is less than a 10 out of 10 ready to change their lifestyle.
I love it. As it should be, man. Any last words for everybody listening?
Take a cold shower. Just do it.
I love it. I'm going to go get in the ocean right after this.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
Of the cold shower. So
I'm jealous.
Yep. I love it. Taylor, appreciate you being on, man. So grateful as always. It's good to see your smiling face and glad you are crushing it. Go check out the Captain's Lifestyle. Taylor's stuff is amazing. He posts awesome content on Instagram and all over. So check him out. Love you guys. Peace.